California Pop, The Evolution of Mid-Century Subcultural Southern California, by Dorian McDougall. Chapter 19, Futurama. Section title, The Girly's Man. After the war, Joe Quigg and his friend Matt Kivlin began hanging around Bob Simmons' workshop, helping him build his unique creations and learning the art of surfboard design and construction, as taught by the prickly mad scientist of surf. Like most savants, Simmons had little patience for those of lesser abilities, and perhaps it was due to his reputation for incivility that when surfer Tommy Zahn wanted to place an order for a custom surfboard, he came to the sorcerer's apprentice rather than the sorcerer. Though he had no theatrical experience, Tommy Zahn had the kind of star-quality good looks Hollywood careers could be made of, and for that reason alone, 20th Century Fox signed him to a short-term player's contract. It was while he was at the studio being groomed for a run at stardom that he met Darylyn, the 17-year-old daughter of Fox's main mogul, Darryl Zanuck. The two began dating, and when Darylyn expressed an interest in Tommy's favorite pastime, he went to Joe Quigg with a special request. Build a board light enough for a girl to carry, short enough to fit in her sporty convertible, and very easy to ride. To meet the weight requirements, Quigg used balsa wood. He carefully selected the lightest plank he could find and shaped it to spoon specs. To protect the absorbent balsa, he decided to skip the labor-intensive 15 coats of varnish and just seal the whole thing in a single coat of fiberglass. The result was a 10-foot square tail that weighed only 40 pounds. When Zahn took it out for a test run, he was amazed at how nimble it was. On a beach date, he presented his gift and then borrowed it. His friends borrowed it. Even strangers borrowed it. Darylyn did get to use it some, but as soon as it came in from the surf, the board went back out on loan. It became such a popular attraction it was christened the Darylyn board, although Quigg preferred to call it his Easy Rider model. Those seasoned surfers who took it out for a spin would never admit they enjoyed riding a girly board, so a great show was always made to impress upon all observers that they were only out for a lark. But there was obviously something special about that board. Yet at the time, no one, not even its creator, suspected that this beginner's toy would turn out to be the forerunner of the modern longboard, even as it was casting a spell on all who rode it. Zahn was so beguiled by the sprightly girl's board that he purposefully borrowed it back just before he dumped Darylyn for fellow contract player Norma Jean Baker. Evidently, neither he nor his new paramour had ever heard the old saying, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," for not surprisingly, retribution was swift. Darylyn clandestinely reappropriated her surfboard and then arranged to have both their studio contracts terminated. However, in the case of Miss Baker, the setback was only temporary. A few years later, she would re-up with 20th Century Fox, this time as Marilyn Monroe. But Tommy would never work in movies, and he would never get that surfboard back.